to identify. I can tell you exactly what it is. That is the reason why discernment has to heighten, so that you are able to identify what has shown up. What is here. You got to be able to know, oh, I see you.
Yes.
I see you. Looking good at you. I see you, baby. Oh, you want to hit people with garbage cans. So now I'm going to have to clutch. You better know how to deal with it. I'm serious. You got to know how to deal with it. You got to know how to deal with it. And even if it's humorous, but let me tell y'all what I just heard the Lord say. Quick shot that woman pinky toe off. But this is what God said. Even though she fell into that situation, it did not take her ability to walk. So even if you find yourself in something, don't let it take you out. It's not the end of things. Get your butt out of there. And what makes it so bad, honey, quick reconcile. Reconcile now. See, yeah. They reconcile. So don't allow yourself to stay in bad predicaments, in bad situations. But live your life in a balance every day, knowing that it is subject to happen to me. I am not exempt from the enemy desiring to destroy. Yeah. I am not exempt from him wanting to find something to tarnish the reputation. For him. I'm not. I'm going to tell you what God did for me last week. I think it was last week. That brought a soothing to my heart. I am an advocate of that Bible. I believe that Bible. It is a consolation for me. And so I believe that there are things that God put in the Bible, all the things in there. It's very great significance to our lives. Because everything, it happens like pain hits the rich folk house, the poor people house, the middle class house. Joy and laughter hits the rich folks house, the poor people house, the middle class. It's no respect. So it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you got, or whatever the case may be, how much money you don't got. That book is still the guiding light. It's the guiding light. And so this is what the Lord said to me to give me a consolation on something I'm dealing with. He took me back to creation. And he said to me, he said, you do know Lucifer was my first angel, right? So like, yeah. So okay. Yeah, he was my first angel, right? Because there's certain things I'm dealing with the first in. First means a lot to God, just so y'all know. First means a lot. Honor the Lord with the first fruits, right? You're supposed to give him the 10th first, and then you do the rest. See? And so even when crop is gathered, you're to honor the Lord with the first of it, right? So there is a first. David and Bathsheba's first child died because it was hinged off of a wrongdoing. He had killed Uriah in order to sleep with her. Wrong. Even Esau and Jacob, there was a first issue. First stuff that goes on, right? Cain and Abel, first issues. First angel that God would create would turn against him. First spirit, Adam was a spirit before he became flesh. You know that by fig leaves having to be sewn on. So, first angel he creates becomes Lucifer, Satan, satanic, devil. first spirit that he creates to take care of the garden, which is Adam, allows himself to be influenced by someone else. So now he has to become an enemy of them. First, I want y'all to pay attention to some things. Pay attention to some stuff. Watch it. On that firstborn child, be tripping. See, because all of that stuff is what has to come as a sacrifice to God. It has to come as a sacrifice. I said, what are you talking about? So I'm really deep. I let y'all get into my world. I'm going to bring you in my world. Firstborn. If you do not sacrifice the first thing, you have a potential of getting emotionally connected to it and treating it as if it's a God. And then so if you treat it as if it's a God, you then make that and God become enemies.
Right.
So I'm very particular. And so the Lord brought some things to me at first. He was like, yeah, first, this person was first, right? Mm-hmm. That person was your first, right? Mm-hmm. That right there was the first, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you see, so now I get the concept. I understand. Think about it. First grandkids. Like Maddie is my first grandbaby. There's something different about it because it's the first time you've ever encountered it. So it has a difference about it. But what God was showing me was that you better learn some balance with it, girl. And this is what's so crazy. Maddie is my first grandbaby, and I love all my grandkids, and I got bonus grandkids that I'll walk through 542 now. I walk through 5 for them too. But it is something about her that folk just hate on her. With thinking that she is like this goddess or something, or what have you. When really it's not like that, But what God showed me and brought a conviction to me was, he was like, it was for you. You have to learn to balance. See, what you did not do is you did not offer that back to me. You took that, my baby, I love my baby. You know how we do. It's my baby, I love my baby. And you didn't offer that back to me. And so then you put enmity in between me and that. And so then you start seeing stuff happening with them. Struggle and all types of stuff start happening. So I'm telling y'all principles, I'm just trying to tell y'all the real deal. The dude don't play. He don't care about that being your first child. Your first grandbaby, he cared. I don't mean it in a bad way. He cared, but he says, honor the Lord with the first fruit of all thy increase, with the first of thy substance. But there is something about us. If you notice, there are people that still got stuff that they had for the first. Still got my first car. Cool, get rid of it. You see what I'm saying? Because he got so attached to it. Let me tell you about my brother Buck. When I opened up the trailer out there, first day I opened it up. That night we would get, got everything closed down and everything. We were back at the house. He brought the trailer back to the house. It was at the house. This joker literally went livid on me. You keep your first $1? He said, where your first $1? I said, man, I don't know. Some dollars in there. You supposed to keep your first $1? You know what you supposed to do? Man, I done spent a lot of first dollars. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? First $1. If anything, that first $1 that time. You know what I'm saying? He literally went livid. You supposed to keep your first $1? You keep your first $1? You see? It's something about the first and the significance, but the first is what sets you up. If you can handle the first and do it effectively, all of the rest will line up. it will work out. We be missing it, man. We be missing it. And so I found myself in a situation as to where, dang, I got to figure out how to balance this thing out, because it's looking like my favor is towards this first. You know what I'm saying? And it's making others feel less loved, you know, or less regarded. So I have to figure out how to balance this thing out. And the Lord said that's how it is with us as a people. That first has to be sacrificed. And if that first is sacrificed, and it's sacrificed righteously, is what I mean. If it's a first sacrifice honored unto the Lord, we don't dedicate kids anymore. You know, used to, you remember the first thing they were trying to do with her meet them children, to dedicate them back to the Lord. You know, that's what Hannah did with Samuel. She weaned him, and then she took him straight to the temple, and she dedicated him back unto the Lord. And so if we don't dedicate it, if we just take it as a prized possession, it's generally going to cost us some pain.
My God. My God.
It's going to cost us some pain. It's going to cost us some pain if we do not dedicate it back to the Lord appropriately. I'm telling y'all real life stuff, man. I'm telling you stuff. I haven't, because I asked God the truth about things. I be asking him where the problem come from, because I want my life as less problematic as possible. So if it's something I need to change, it's something I need to do, then that's what I do. You know, but he was dealing with me very, very hard about that. Very hard about it. There's just something about our nature. I'm telling you, you take people that get their first brand new car, ooh, Lord, you better not touch it. They ain't gonna put nobody in it. Yes, Lord Jesus, you can't eat in here. All that, see, that first. And so he said, I need you to understand that's a sacrifice. Job ended up having to get something greater because he had to sacrifice first. He had to sacrifice the first. So I was saying to God, I said, so what if Job was in a type of predicament as to where he was one that, you know, the scripture said he eschewed evil, but he was also in love with all of that stuff, you know, because it's possible to be like that. I'm being honest. It's very possible to be like that. To, you know, to love, to have this relationship with God, but yet be worshiping that stuff. It's very possible to be worshiping that stuff. And so I was like, what if that was actually what was going on with him, which caused him to have to go through what he went through? We are notorious as a people. Worship is our identity. Amen. So it is real quick to worship something. You ever see how people start dating? They already be worshiping them people in 2-3 weeks. I worship the ground you walk. I ain't ever said that to a guy. That I worship the ground he walk on. I am. Now I love. But I ain't love that deep. You know, worship the ground he walk, really. You understand? So, because we were created to worship. That's our essence. That's our nature, our core. It's created to worship. So if you don't channel it right, it will be misguided. And it will cause problems. Serious problems. It's very easy. You cannot allow people to hit that part, or person, to hit that part of you, because that part has to be reserved just for God. That part, that worship. So how is it, let's brainstorm a minute, how is it that somebody can get to that part of me, that part that was reserved for God? Because we are compartmentalized.